me on. I'm excited. My name is Samia. I am the owner of Sexual Essentials, and I started this company simply because sex is still a taboo and it's almost 2022. As well as honestly, our relationships just deserve more intimacy and honesty and videos on how to do things. And so I created an unconventional approach to sexual education, and I call it hands on teaching, basically. So all of my classes are either showing something or demonstrating something without it having to be porn. And we're addressing all of those awkward topics that you feel really bad about saying, but it's the truth. And honestly, it's probably a whole bunch of people that feel the exact same way. So that's what I do. And it's pretty cool.
So important because sometimes you really do have to see something in order to like really grasp what's going on. And if porn is the only way that you're getting that, you're missing so much of the awkwardness and the transition and the like real prep. And
Noises.
like we literally ask about transition and prep and
Yes.
like enter or around or rub. Like we ask about all of that. So videos are so important.
Mhm.
And I think we've had a handful of guests give us resources for like videos, but they're just not that common. So the
Mhm.
more people, the better.
Yeah.
They're super lectury. A lot of things, and it's no shade to anyone else because we're all trying to do our part to bridge this awkwardness. But lectures only get you so far, especially because everyone's body parts look different. And you know, things like that. So what may have worked on this porn with one person may not be how it works with someone else. And if you take out that negotiation part where it's like, hey, does that feel okay? Do you need some more lube? I need to see that because they don't know it exists. They, they don't even know it exists. They're, just doing it, and it's just unrealistic. So
Well, more power to it.
So to find those videos, when people just go to Sexual Essentials.
So I have my website, which is thesexualessentials.com, and it breaks everything down like as far as like Patreon or either the master classes.
Okay.
So for me, the master classes are on three main topics: dick riding, mouth masterclass, and masturbation and squirting 101. So those topics are so huge and take so much more than one class for me to teach that I bundled those up and put those in master classes, right? But my Patreon has almost 200 videos on it that are just about sex, period. So you can learn how to give your partner like a penis massage, or he can learn how to give you a yoni massage and all this other kind of stuff. There are live demonstrations of me actually performing classes on people. I like to say those are the people that donated their body to science for me. Um, and it's not awkward or anything. Like I'm fully clothed. We're joking during the videos. I mean, you see some orgasms here and there, but I mean, it's just a regular Thursday night.
Yeah,
So
I've had a very casual orgasm before. It's fine. We all do it.
yeah, and then we just go back to talking. It was a really great experience. But the Patreon has almost 200 classes, even about communication. How do you tell someone you've never had an orgasm? How do you tell someone you want to try something that's nasty as hell? How do you tell someone you want to dabble in their booty hole? So we talk about all these things because these are real life things, and especially like in heterosexual sex, the guys are like, well, am I gay if I do this? And the girls are like, well, I want to do it, but how do I ask without getting slapped? I don't want to put my finger up there and be on the floor. Like I get it. Like, these are real world things.
Absolutely. Those are
Yeah, we talk
everything
about
that you've
everything.
named is so important.
And so real. We've had
Yeah.
the exact same questions. So you might have 2 new subscribers to your Patreon.
So
Well,
yes, so that's where I do everything.
I love that. And a topic we really want to explore, like all of that very technical stuff today, is dry humping.
Mm.
We've been wanting to talk about dry humping for a long time.
mhm.
So would you help us out by first defining for us what dry humping is?
So technically, dry humping is like having sex, but with your clothes on.
Okay.
Right. So it's everything except for insertion and, actual sex, but your clothes on, it's like super intense foreplay. Damn, I haven't dry humped in forever. I feel old.
Well, I think that's kind of one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about it, because it feels like something that like, oh, you don't do anymore once you're like
Yeah,
old enough to start participating in like
the
sex,
real thing.
But it can be so fun, but we just don't talk about it. And so it feels a little juvenile. So I think that's why we wanted to approach it
Yeah.
in that.
No, I think that's genius.
Yes.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, I like it. That's smart.
it.
That and making out, that and making out together. Oh, that used to be a good day sneaking out, okay? A good dry hump and a good make out session.
Yep. That was a fun, time in the car, maybe, after soccer practice. I'm only assuming, mom, don't worry.
That's what your friend told you.
Yeah.
You've just heard
I
that.
just heard how fun it could be in the back of a Camry. That's all.
So
No, that's a really great topic.
adults then, is dry humping worth
The hype.
exploring? Like, is it worth going back to?
In my opinion, I would say absolutely, but I love a good tease because, like you all said, once you have access to sex, everything kind of changes. There's really no buildup at all. Even with the proper amount of foreplay, there's even no buildup really. For me, I tell people all the time I'm a sapiosexual, so I like people to get in my head and for me to feel that actual rise. I like to feel tormented. I like to feel the oh my gosh, my breath is changing like so much because sometimes sex is so easily accessible now. It's like a lot of those things that we used to feel, we really don't feel anymore. But I think for me, I don't really pursue it just because I feel like with my main partner, I could. I just have not because we do other things for foreplay outside of dry humping that help extend that time before sex. But if it were with another partner, there's another one, I'm poly. So if it was with another partner, I feel like unless you're close, it gets kind of awkward because you start explaining, I want to dry hump. And they're like, the fuck do you want to do that for? And you have to explain like, well, it's not that I'm not trying to tease you, but I do want a tease. Like, is there any way that we can amp up this tension, without having sex yet? Like, because once we do it, one, I might make you leave. And two, the anticipation is it's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone. So,
Absolutely. So if you're dry humping with a partner, does it matter what type of partner? Like, does it have to just be someone with a penis, or can you like dry hump with two vulvas? Like, how do we?
So absolutely, anyone, vulva to vulva, penis to vulva, group. Ooh, I love a good group. Like before you get in a threesome, just because things can get kind of awkward, to kind of know your plays. Like okay, we're gonna run the whoop de doo. Like so, like it would be so great if somebody could like do a dry hump run, to show like kind of how you maneuver it through a threesome and before it's awkward and people start pulling out their genitals and then, then it's more pressure, But also, I think that people think that you have to have on a lot of clothes. You can dry hump in lingerie, so it still adds like a spicy, it doesn't have to be as juvenile as it used to be when we used to, when like we did it back in the
denim.
day.
Parka, denim. I'm here.
Sweaters and sweatshirts. Everything over the layers.
Yes,
getting off from your jeans or from them.
A little bit of silk would be nice at this point, right? Yeah. So yes, oh my goodness, denim on denim. Oh my gosh, I'm having like flashbacks.
So much sweat burn. Or denim burn. Like, cause it's that seam that goes straight through your crotch.
Yep.
And like, I get it. It adds more friction, but also it adds more friction.
Yeah.
And it hurts.
We should make dry humping jeans.
Let's make
ooh, it'd have like a satin patch right there on the crotch.
Yeah.
Satin patch right on the crotch. I remember I dry humped with this guy and he came on my leg and I think that was the end of dry humping for me. I was like, okay, I didn't know about this. I thought it was just dry humping. Like I didn't ask for this.
Dry.
It's not dry.
You didn't listen to the rules.
This is a dry run.
So yeah, but yeah, absolutely, vulva to vulva. I think that if anything, I've probably dry humped with women way more than men, at least at my grown ass age today. Just because I think anything that you need a little bit of practice with or something new, especially with me with women, women are not my main partner choice. Like I deal with women, but it's still kind of new for me. So with women, I feel like if you're dealing with a more experienced woman, or you guys are both kind of inexperienced with each other, you have way more leeway, and it naturally turns into dry humping because you're just getting a feel for, okay, I could do that. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like that test run, so that way it's less awkward when we start whipping out, PD whackers and coochie lips and such and stuff, you know.
Peony whackers.
So
That's the name of the episode.
it's perfect named. We're
A
done.
dry rub on peony whackers.
So we had Lisa Finn on to talk about scissoring, and could dry
Ooh.
humping be like the closed form of scissoring?
I absolutely think so.
Okay.
And now that you say that, we definitely got to take that denim out, because that
I was like, you could start a fire with that. God damn.
A whole new definition of fire top.
Yes, I think that scissoring was one that took me a while. It took me a while to get it, because I was just like, just give me the dick. I'd give up. I just, oh my gosh, I don't get it. But I think that one of the mistakes we make with scissoring is that we don't let our clitoris get really swollen. And so when they're bumping against each other, you're kind of just rubbing skin to skin. But it should feel like a flick of the bean, kind of. I feel like all these are junior high phrases are just, I feel so nostalgic right now. But yeah, I think that we should do that more. You guys are going to challenge me I'm going to have to talk about this.
Yeah. I love it.
Yes.
What are some other positions then that you've tried with like dry humping, vulva to vulva? Is like scissoring kind of the main one? Like what other ways can you do that?
I roll around. I'm a big roll arounder, like literally trying. Yes, definitely a roll arounder. Like in the bed, I like space to just try to figure out what is our thing, because like I'm not a small girl, so I don't want to. I'm in my head a little bit more when it comes to women, because I'm like, oh my gosh, am I suffocating her? Versus with a man, I'm like, oh, you can handle this weight, it's okay. But it's like
just me.
It's like, I don't want to suffocate this girl. Like I'm a lot of weight. And I think that we have to consider each other's femininity so much more, and you don't want to offend. You want to make, you in that moment, you're thinking about all the ways these assholes have like not made you feel comfortable. And so when you're with a woman, you're like, okay, let me not do that. Let me not do that. So I like space to just kind of go back and forth and try you on top, and let's try both on the side, kind of just see what we like. Because like I said, when you take the clothes off, the air starts hitting, your genitals, things start drying up. And not saying we can't use lube, but when you're naturally where you need to be and then that awkwardness creeps in, it's going to be inevitable. But I just try to know the game. I'm a planner.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm a planner. So I always loved a good dry hump, because I'm like, okay, so we're going to run it through like we just did when we were, okay, cool.
That was take one. We're doing take two.
That works.
Close her up.
Hey, sometimes you do stuff in dry hump that does not successfully go down in sex. It's like that position seemed like a good idea, but we both know there is not enough depth for us to pull this one off. But that was a good idea.
That was a good idea.
And I think dry humps are good with toys too, because like if we're not doing insertion, technically the toys can, but that's a really good time to see. And I think that when you take your clothes off, it's some pressure to go ahead and have sex. So when you have your clothes on using the toys, now it's no pressure. You know that, okay, we're not going to do this. And I can kind of pay attention. So you're almost getting like a personal education on my body, and it's no pressure. We know that by calling it dry humping, it's almost like saying we're not having sex. And then it becomes like a challenge, like, okay, let's not have sex tonight. Let's do this instead. And it kind of forces us to find other ways to have intimacy when we don't know how to prolong foreplay, or, go without sex with each other and still be, you know, in the vibe, in the mood, and still have a nasty night without sex, you know?
Yeah.
Nasty night. I like that. So you brought up using toys. So does that mean that we can like try exploring dry humping like in masturbation and in solo play?
Dry humping with masturbation, from what I heard, I was never one to do the dry humping as a kid. I know that people probably thought that I did, but I never did it. It wasn't until I started reading some of these celebrity books and people start coming out with when they got started with masturbation. I was super late to the game with masturbation because I was just like, okay, this finger is not doing anything. The movies show they put this right here and then this thing happens, but mine is broken. It's just not doing it. And then all these people are talking about rubbing on their teddy bears and humping their teddy bears and humping their pillows and things like that. And I'm like, I never felt the urge to do that, you know? I don't know. Maybe it just skipped over me. Maybe I was just busy. I don't know, doing homework or something. But as an adult now, I definitely could understand how a woman will use the pillow because if you're already aroused, that pulsatingness is kind of going through your clitoris already. You know what I mean? Like you can feel, you know, when she's thumping and she's like, girl, we need some, hey,
down there. Yeah.
hey, pay attention. Hey, we need something down here. And when it's doing that, I could see how somebody is like, okay, I just need to rub against something. But I don't remember ever feeling that way when I was younger.
Mhm.
So, you know, but definitely I know that people hump pillows, they have the baby pillow, sleep pillow that the women
Oh, like the pregnancy pillows?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That would make sense.
You have a pregnancy pillow.
I do. My dog sleeps on it. He took it over. He's not pregnant.
Okay, let's not hump with that one.
Yeah.
Because, yes.
But they are like harder. So that kind of makes sense. Like I sleep on very soft pillows. That's important to me.
Yeah.
And so for me, like those ones wouldn't really work because it would just like flatten.
Yeah.
But a denser pillow would work.
And it goes right between your legs. So it's like you don't really have to do much work. It's not like someone's gonna walk in and see you looking like a dog, like humping a pillow.
That's what
like
I fear. That's what I fear of trying like dry humping in masturbation is that I look weird and that
honestly,
someone's watching somewhere. How terrifying this could be.
Getting orgasms looks very weird. I had a friend walk on me masturbating one time. I didn't stop because I was like about to nut, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this again." So sorry, you got a free show. You can not look at me for a couple days if you need to, but you walked in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My choice. Yeah.
At this point, if you haven't seen my crotch, I don't even know if you're my friend because if you walk in, I'm not stopping. So yes, just remember my face, what it looks like normally, and you know, hopefully I don't scare you too much. But
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
yeah.
I mean, I've explored with like dry humping, I guess, a toy itself as well. I think Nell, we had on Nell the pleasure coach, and she was talking about stacking pillows and then stacking if you have like a vibrator or dildo, whatever, that on top of the pillows and then like kind of riding that. And I guess that could still be considered dry humping.
It's because it's going in. That sounds like
That one, I would just be like laying flat and
like a
then
hot dog.
Yeah, like hot dog in it.
okay. So like you're laying in the bed. Okay, wait. The
I'm
hot
like
dog.
riding a pillow.
Okay, like this.
And then on top of the pillow is like a dildo or a vibrator laying flat, and so it's like
Okay, not sticking up.
Delicately put a hot dog in it. If you
Okay, got it. Okay, I'm at this house. Okay, so if we laid it down, you'd be humping. You'd be humping this. Got it. Well, that sounds smart. You probably need a stiff dildo then, something that you don't have to put any lube on, but it's almost like, for lack of a better word, scratching an itch. It's almost like scratching an itch, I think.
Yeah.
But see, that's another, I think one of the benefits of dry humping when you do it that way is understanding how sensitive the clitoral hood is, not just the clitoris itself, but that like sheer piece of skin that's covering your clitoris, because a lot of people don't realize it's orgasmic as well. It's super sensitive. And just having a masturbation session where you're not even going inside or actually on your clitoris, it may take longer. But just using that skin itself can bring you to orgasm. And I think doing something where you're not like you said, going straight for the sex, the penetration, it gives you time to figure out the other stuff that's involved, because it's just less, it's once things get inside, people start losing their train of thought. You be like, oh yeah, that did happen. Yeah. But so you get to know yourself, I guess, a little bit better because you're seeing what your arousal is like without actually having penetration,
Exactly.
You're a science experiment, kind of just studying your own body. That's kind of cool.
So when you are dry humping with a partner, the way I'm gonna phrase this, I don't love, but I'm gonna say it. Like what body parts do you dry hump? Like like I'm thinking like from my personal experience, like when I was younger, I'd be like laying down and then my partner with a penis was on top of me and I could like feel his penis. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I didn't know it was dry humping at the time. I know I really enjoyed it though.
I loved it.
But I was also like, then when I, was with somebody else and we didn't do that, I was like, how would I bring that up? Like, it's scary to say the word dry
Can
hump.
you scoot on me?
Can you scoot?
I'm all laid down.
Scoot on my poop.
Scoot on my poop.
So that is not what I want to say. But what body parts can you dry hump?
Well, here's a question. Do we consider titty fucking dry humping?
Can you define titty fucking?
Oh, okay. So like the girls, they pull out their boobs like this, and then the guys put their dick in between, and then she does like this, and she
I don't know how.
I don't think, like, physically,
I don't think we could do that.
That would have to be a tiny weenie for me.
Very tiny weenie. And they'd have to be very close to me.
I don't want to be
like
that close.
Chest to pelvis.
Like pubes in my mouth.
Yeah. They would be that. Come on, don't act like you haven't had a pube in your mouth. All right. So,
but like the full.
I mean, sometimes it's less work when they stand right in front of you because we're getting older, and so squatting down is just like a thing of the past. Like you're telling me I can sit here and you can walk in my face. It's like like dining in. It's like dining in. I'm okay.
I love it.
Dining in. It's takeout. So
bring it home.
So you have that, but they kind of like, so imagine they were like standing near you, right? When no matter how big your boobs are, when you press them together, they're gonna do this, right? Even if they're small, exactly, and they're warm, and they think about how soft your boobs are compared to like the other parts of your skin. Like they're really soft. And so it just feels like a massage, which is kind of how we get on back at those tantric moves when I was telling you guys about the penis massage. It's called a lingam massage, but lingam is a Sanskrit word for penis. But that's why some of those things are really great as women. Finding ways to do foreplay for our partner is a big one because we really only know how to give oral. Like we kind of give oral, we kiss, and we have sex, and then we want them to do all these other things to us. But titty fucking is one of those things, and it's kind of kinky, so it's like, okay, you might see that in a porn, but nobody really does it, just like nobody really does dry humping. Well, maybe you'll be the one to,
titty fucking
pull out your boobs. I mean, technically, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's dry, it's not sex, so
yeah.
If people are, but I've only done that in the regular dry humping, like position, like regular sex positions, basically.
Like missionary type.
Yeah, like.
Yeah. When I think dry humping, I actually think of not necessarily involving the penis for like if I was doing it with a guy with a penis or whatever, I think of legs. Like
calves,
specifically the shin. No, like
are you talking about like when the dog humps your leg?
No, I was kidding. I'm never using below the knee. That
okay. I was trying to picture this. I'm like, so does he stand up?
You're like squatting really low.
Down.
You know how when you sit on feet and they walk around with you? That's dry humping for me. No. Like picturing me on top, them on the bottom, and then using like the thigh to go up against. So you're kind of on your side. And like making out, because making out is like super hot. I love it. I think that's essential for sex and getting really wet. And so doing that, I feel like is like my favorite type of dry humping position. I don't know.
I feel like I did this contest one time. I was on vacation and they were like, oh, do as many sex positions as you can in 1 minute. And it was so much easier to do it with our clothes on than during sex, because when you're in the moment, you're not thinking about all the positions that are out there. You're doing what's easily accessible to feel good right then and there, because it's like, oh, hold on, let me think about that other position we should do. No, you're like, get in here. Like,
Yeah.
you know? So maybe that's a better way to do a dry run through, to get some position, some different positions going and trying to see how we fit together like this. Like, what do you think about that? And then instead of it, because when you're actually talking about sex itself, the awkwardness level is it's less things that you can do, without anyone feeling awkward or for it becoming an awkward moment. But if we have on our clothes, everybody's sense of humor is still intact, and we're not doing awkward things when people are naked and vulnerable, so then we can say, oh, okay, well, I've never tried this. Ooh, okay, so we could do that. All right. And we're flirting, and we're that witty banter and trying out positions. And then guess what, when we take our clothes off next time, we have some new go-tos to kind of practice versus trying to do it when you're butt ass naked. It's a lot of pressure.
Absolutely. That's a great tip, I feel like, for trying out new positions. Trying it with your clothes on first. Because honestly, it's because your butthole's not out. That's why. That's for me. It'd be because that's not accessible. So I'll try anything if you can't see my butthole.
I'll do anything.
I'll do anything. But
I have to watch how I move when booty holes and I got it.
you have to like keep backing up and moving around if you're naked. I don't know.
I understand. It's not anything I just flash out there like, oh, guess what I got? No.
I thought of another position though that I think is really fun for dry humping, is doing it when you're spooning in bed. Like I feel like that's a really good first initiator, especially if it's like penetrative sex and you like that from behind. Doing that like when you're in bed or right when you're waking up, like that's a really fun dry humping
like
move.
backing up.
Yeah, like
I thought that's how all bed sex started.
I think
I thought that's how all bed sex started. Y'all know when you sleep next to me like this.
And then you put your butt around their penis.
You open.
Everyone knows, and no one says it. You
it.
put your little butt cheeks around their penis, and it feels good.
There's the guy who commented on one of my posts the other day, and it was like the guys give advice to the ladies, and he was like, "Stop putting your butt on my dick if you don't want to have sex." And I hollered because I'm like, technically that's not appropriate, but technically usually when I do it, it's because I want sex. So
technically that's not appropriate. Yeah, it's like sometimes I just want to feel it. I'm sorry. And
this is true. And they're like, no. Yeah, they're not with it anymore. They're like, no, don't do that anymore. Because you know what that means. And I'm like, oh.
Oh, okay.
It's another way to hot dog it.
Yeah, just with your butt.
Yeah.
Do you have any other favorite dry humping positions that you can think of?
Not really, but I'm really thinking that like with the exploration there, you could really dry hump any part of a body, I guess, right? Whatever part of the body that you were attracted to. Go at it. Go for it.
Titty fuck your arm. See, that's trying it without your genitals being out first.
I guess that's true. But I also like, obviously dry humping is really fun in and of itself, but I do like the idea of using it as kind of a dry hump run for trying other sexual or sex positions. I don't know, because it's like a fun way to do it that you could also get off that way, but like,
yeah,
it's also a learning experience.
I feel like as ladies, if you're having trouble with riding, try to dry hump it like with your partner. Like, babe, I really want to get better with riding this year. Use the new year as an excuse. I want to get better with riding this year. Can I just sit on you? No nasty stuff. Come on, help me out. Like, it's super, and even though he doesn't realize it, you're basically saying, can we dry hump so I can learn this? You're asking it in a cute way and you're flirting. You know what I mean? Like, it's once you've been together for a while, it's kind of hard to recreate, those kind of moments that are just so authentic, but super, intimate, So
Mhm.
that's a really good one for that too. If you're trying to learn new positions with your partner, or get better with something, or, you know, something like that.
Yeah, I really like that idea. That's
Yeah,
another position that I wasn't
exactly.
picturing.
On top,
Absolutely.
being in control.
Because some girls are like, how do you do cowgirl and stuff like that? I'm like, well, try it out first, And like I said, sometimes you do some positions that the dick size does not match up with later. And it's okay. It's okay. But you can still act fun and, do it all out when you're dry humping. Yeah.
Yeah. Doing that position in not denim, we're thinking like more intimate
Yeah.
clothing. You don't really think about it, but that, like, I've done that before sex, and then that leads into sex, but I don't think of it as dry humping because
Mhm.
I don't know why. Um, but that's like fun and it's teasy and it's kind of like how you were explaining earlier. You like getting in your head a little bit, like, no, we're not
Mhm.
having sex, we're just doing this. Like, I'm just practicing or whatever. But that
Yes.
can be like a
Mhm.
fun little tease as well. I
Mhm.
guess we don't realize how much we probably dry hump a lot
Yeah.
before sex.
Mhm.
I wish that guys like teases more. It's almost like it's kind of offensive when they say it. They're like, oh, she's such a tease. And it's like, is it a tease, or are you acting like you're trying to get the sex out of the way so you can be done?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going anywhere. How is this a tease? I would not let you put your dick near me if I didn't want to fuck you. Just because we haven't fucked yet doesn't mean I don't want to. It's If
Mhm.
she's dealing with you, she probably wants to have sex with you. She's still going to wait though for it to be the
Mhm.
right moment or whatever. I mean, come on now, as girls, we can look at a picture and say if we would or wouldn't. Like, yep, I would.
Yeah.
So, but give us a moment. But it's like every little thing that's not sex right away. It's like, oh, you're such a tease. You're teasing. Why are you playing?
Yeah, it's
Playing or what?
exactly. I know, I don't like that phrase either. It's really offensive. And it's like pressuring you. It's like, I'm not a
It
tease, I'm just
is
not ready.
pressure.
Mhm.
Like, that doesn't
And I'm
really
like,
make
why do
sense.
I have to go back to this?
Yeah. Anyone that says that too is like, so you're not a safe person to have sex with, probably. Because then you wouldn't have respected my
You're
boundaries.
not worth dry humping.
You're not worth dry humping. And I'm gonna leave.
Out. Yep. I'm gonna go hump my pillow. You missed out,
Go
buddy.
hump my
Exactly.
pillow.
I have a
You
bunch
missed
of
out.
pillows at home that can do exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. And better.
And won't talk back.
And won't talk back.
We'll talk back. Yeah.
Fuck.
Won't have to deal with that shit. Did you have another one that you were going towards?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's just really fun to talk about our experiences mainly with stuff like this because dry humping does feel so juvenile to say, but you
Mhm.
don't realize how much we do it and how much we can just like talk about other ways to do it and how to enjoy it more and how to make it like foreplay. And I
Mhm.
think it's just important to highlight stuff like this.
There is an amazing class that's on my Patreon, and it's a sexercise class for couples. So there is this couple. Oh my goodness, it's called a sexercise. Ev- Evelaros, or the spelling of the word is really weird. I did this like last year during COVID, but it's a couples workout, but it's all sex positions, and it's like some of the most strenuous sex positions that you go to. And so you have your workout clothes on with your partner doing these positions. And by the end of it, you're like, okay, take off our sweaty clothes and let's do this. Like, and so I think that is a great version of dry humping. It's like a 45-minute workout and you are hot and ready by the end of it. And yeah, it's
Good.
kind of nice. It's nice.
Oh my God.
I
That
love
sounds
that.
so fun.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, it was really fun, especially like with the music and like you're laughing with your partner and stuff, kind of because you're like, I'm looking dead at you trying to hit me from the back. Like I can't take you serious when I workout clothes. Like, but you're getting a workout. And also it's a really good way to strengthen those muscles that we only use during sex. So it's a lot of gems that are hanging out there, on the Patreon, and bring it right back to dry humping. And that's the thing, like you said, we're doing it more than we think we are.
Mm-hmm.
It
And
just looks different than when we were in the Camry.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And naming it does feel a little scary. I don't know why,
Mhm.
like the words dry humping.
Saying you like dry humping is like, oh, so you're 12.
So you're a perv or you're 12.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
one is it?
Which one is it? Because it's not,
It just feels weird. So I love that, like, if you know that that's something that you like, and maybe you're a little nervous to bring that up, because honestly, I was nervous to bring it up to my partner until somebody brought it up on the podcast. And then I was like, I'm allowed to ask for that. I thought that's when I was 16.
Yeah.
So I love this exercise because that's such a fun way to be like, oh yeah, that was really fun. Like we really enjoyed that, right? And then just incorporate it without having to be like, yeah, I want to dry hump the shit out of you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dry humping to me always includes denim. That's like the only
It
vision I
sounds
have
very
in my head.
aggressive.
Yeah, but
Does sound very aggressive.
I mean, like, I remember doing Netflix and chillsing when I was in college. You know, you'd wear leggings, which is what reminded me from this exercise. And like, that was some of the most fun when you were like making out, you're in stretchy leggings and he was in, you know, basketball shorts and like teasing each other. And like, those are really fun clothes to wear when you're dry humping too. And so
Absolutely, because it gives it all away.
gives it all away without anything like, and you can kind of play around, like if you have a vulva, kind of play around with like going inside but from the outside of your clothes, you know, like there's just more to touch when you're wearing those type of clothes, which is another, I don't know, fun topic, is like the clothes you could wear when you're dry humping, not just silk. You
I
could
feel like we sound like a group of like pervs, like, ooh, I love dry humping here, I love dry humping there, I love dry humping in my sweats. Like, we all really thought about this. We've really thought about this.
I am a group of pervs. It's just me. I'm a perv.
Basketball shorts though is a good one because the material of the basketball shorts, like if you stroke the, like say the dick's in your hand and you use the clothing around it to grip it, it's like they're feeling the pressure, but they're feeling it from the with that sensitive clothing from the shorts, and it feels different, you know. So it's like a hand job, but you know,
I'll make it.
in that's kind of
yes. Yeah, dry hand.
So
A dry.
That sounds bad, but
a dry hand, like
in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very naughty, very naughty.
Naughty way. Well, this is fun.
Yeah.
I love talking about this stuff.
Is there anything that you
No,
feel
this
like
is good. This is good.
we didn't cover that you wanted to throw in, that you want to chat about?
Honestly, you guys hit so much more that I feel like I'm gonna have to take a moment and go back and be like, damn, go think about your, like, I think that this is a great topic to bring back. And I feel like if anything, let's go back some more in our kid, you know, ways and figure out what other stuff we used to do and how do we bring that back, because maybe it's still lurking around in other things that we're doing as well. So I think this was very innovative. I'm very impressed by this topic. It's so different. You know, you usually get on here and everybody's like, teach me how to ride, teach me how to suck dick. And you guys, hey, let's get in our time machine and go back to dry humping. I think that is very cool.
Bring back dry humping.
Bring back dry humping.
Yes, you know, that's a shirt. I'm gonna make a shirt. I'm gonna send it to you guys.
God.
We're gonna wear it.
Love
We're gonna wear
it. Oh my God.
Bring
I
back
would
dry
wear that
humping.
with pride. I'll wear it to work. I don't care. It's important.
I'm here.
We all would be a lot happier.
No, this is good. This is good. And it honestly, it brings up the conversation and challenges us to take the pressure off, figure out what else can we work on through dry humping, and then go back and visit it. And it's a really great way just to segue that awkwardness when you do want to try something new. Like, okay, how are we going to try this? You know?
Yeah, that was a great point to bring. Totally. That it was.
This was amazing. This was fun.
Yay. Awesome. Is there anywhere
next girls' night topic?
Yes. Is there any other place that you haven't mentioned? You know, we've talked about your website and your Patreon. Is there anywhere else that listeners can connect with you after the episode?
Honestly, Google me. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm very responsive. Email, good old fashioned email works as well. But yeah, I'm pretty vocal. So I answer all my Instagram DMs, as many of them as there are. They can always send them. And when you follow along with my Instagram, like there are different things each day. Like, so on Mondays we do Q&As, and sometimes we do polls and stuff like that. So it's interactive, and you get to pick other people's brains along with me and get involved in, like, just like this conversation. This may be one of the questions next week or whenever the episode drops. Like, hey, when's the last time you dry humped? And it's just like having your own little sex community to talk about these things. You know, it's an outlet. It's like a little club. It's like sex club.
Love a sex club. I'll join any.
Love it.
Well, maybe not any sex club. More sex clubs.
There won't be dry humping in some of those clubs. There will be real humping. Okay.
I'll be careful.
We'll be ready.
Watch where you hump.